I love Shoeless Joe. I always wanted to get like a tattoo of all the guys that got kicked out of baseball, pretty much. McGuire,
Don't you have that tattoo?
Bonds. I have the
He's got
Cobb.
it.
I
He's got
have
it
Cobb.
tatted.
It's Cobb and Shoeless
Ask him
Joe.
to take his shirt off. He will. Don't worry.
He's trying to set up
Next
for-
season.
Yeah.
Next
The
season,
shirt will be
we'll
off
have to
as
show
soon
the
as this is
tattoo. We all work in the sports collectibles market as professionals, but we're also collectors too. And I know there's a lot of cards that I've seen that I wish I had, but if there was one card that you wish you could have, what would it be? Ryan?
Oh, just throwing
What
right,
is it,
right
man?
to
You're
me.
gonna
I mean, all right. So mine's probably come as a shock. Everyone thinks, I'm a Jeter LeBron guy, so you'd think that's the route I would go.
Sure, I'm waiting for it.
I've been very lucky to own the majority of the ones I've
He's
wanted
owned
to
them all.
own. No,
Yeah.
I didn't say that. The majority of the ones I've wanted to own of those too. My actual dream card though is the 2001 SP Authentic SP Stars Gold Tiger Woods rookie auto.
Nice.
I've always loved that card. I think everyone knows the 900 base card, but when you have that gold variation number to 100 on card auto, I think Tiger Woods always has one of the nicest looking, cleanest autos out there, and to me, he's the most dominant GOAT of any sport. When you think of Michael Jordan, it's like Michael Jordan, LeBron. When you think of golf, it's Tiger Woods, and I just think long term that card is just a holy grail, honestly.
The best
That's a
golf
big card.
of
It
all
is
time.
of all time.
Yeah, it
honestly.
is, definitely.
So for me, that's the one I've always wanted. I've almost had it a few times, and now it's just like untouchable. So I don't.
Yeah.
But I probably
We've sold
maybe
a few.
one day.
Why don't you
Yeah.
scoop it? Why don't you scoop it, man?
Yeah,
400 grand,
300 grand. It's just a drop in the bucket. So
Yeah.
that's the one for me. Shocking, but that'd be the one.
Okay, that's an awesome card. I mean, it's definitely kind of what set the golf card market
Yeah.
for what it is today. I
Yeah.
mean, without Tiger and those cards,
Yeah.
really, I don't think golf takes off. And then honestly, some of these other sports might not even have taken off as
No,
well.
right.
So I think Tiger he was the
Opened
reason
the
I would
door,
watch golf. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So
I like it.
What do you
man.
guys got?
Let's
Come
go
on.
with Carlo next. I'm gonna
Nice.
go last. We'll save the best.
I
one.
mean,
Yeah.
probably a basic take, but for me, it's the Jordan PSA 1086 Flair.
Wow.
Okay.
really?
Okay. You haven't owned one of those before because they were definitely
Exactly. Well,
affordable.
that's the thing. It's like you'd see them all the time. I was like, I'll get one. I'll just get one day. They're always available. I'll wait, and then finally,
grand,
people,
how
a
high is
couple
it gonna go?
20,
Yeah.
30K. Okay, now all of a sudden, 300K. But when I think of a card, like that's the card. Like that's a basketball. That's the basketball card.
That's true.
So I mean, I can go with the LeBron logo man or something crazy, but when I was a little kid, I loved that card. As an adult, I love that card. It's never changed. The only thing that's changed is it's getting further away from me.
So you
So-
must have at least. Now I realize you're talking a grade of a 10. You've never owned an 86 Fleer Jordan rookie in any grade though.
Dude, I haven't because they're always available.
Wow.
But no,
See,
but here's
that-
the thing. It's like I want to go all or nothing. Like I could go buy an 8, go buy a 9, but then I'm just gonna stare at a 10.
I can't believe you've never had like
Wow.
a 2 or an
Yeah.
8 or anything along the year.
because I would never be satisfied. Like I'd want the 10.
And I'm surprised even for us who see many of those come through the doors
know.
over the time that's a card that you haven't got like almost numb to in a way.
Yeah, it's just
There's over 300 now.
yeah.
Yeah.
PSA 10.
But it finally got to the point with that card where people woke up and realized that it doesn't matter if there's a lot of them. I mean, it's so iconic; it outpaced the lack of scarcity, and now it's several $100,000 as it should be. I still think it's undervalued.
Yeah,
but
I remember 2015.
Yeah.
I was looking at that
Right.
card. It was like 15 grand.
Right.
I had a convo with my friend. I was looking to buy a house, and I remember saying, "Hey, I want to buy a Jordan rookie. It's like 15 or 18 grand, whatever the price was." I said, "That's a 6-figure car."
right.
I don't know why, and I didn't know when. I was like, "Look, maybe in my lifetime," but I said, "One day that's a 6-figure car," and within a few years, the car jumps up and it's 700,000.
That's what I mean. It's a card that was always there, so it didn't seem rare enough for me to get. I'll get it one day, and now it's to the point where it's possibly out of reach. So
I think the coolest thing
Yeah.
about that card, though, I do see that, is because it's the one card, I would say probably the only card, that even if you don't follow sports cards or this market or even like are fascinated by any of this, you know what that card is.
there's
If
three.
that card
right.
populates, everyone knows that's Michael Jordan's rookie.
There's three. There's
Everyone's
Honus, there's
seen it.
52
Right.
Mantle, and there's the 86 Jordan. Those are the three
iconic.
cards,
It's
whether
the-
you collect
the
or not.
cornerstone. Yeah,
Right.
that's I get
Yeah,
that.
and you can't go wrong. A lot of
can't.
guys just entering the hobby, like that's a card they're going to target, and the cards that do go up a lot are the cards that guys that just recognize and say,
Need it,
"Okay, this
yeah.
is the card." And I think basketball wise, it's got to be the number one card, like the most popular, just the
Gotta
most
be.
iconic,
course.
right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
I would think basketball. Well, I've got an interesting one.
Mark McGuire.
I can afford Mark McGwire cards, luckily. But
Luckily.
this one here, okay? It's a New Orleans Pelican card that I've always wanted to own.
Zion?
Card that I've always wanted to own. It is a 1910 Old Mill Shoeless Joe Jackson for the New Orleans Pelicans.
I didn't know they were called that.
I didn't even know that either. I thought it was Zion Williams.
So Shoeless Joe started out with the Cleveland Indians, had a brief stint in the minor leagues with the New Orleans Pelicans, and then went to the Chicago White Sox.
Right.
So in 1910, the Old Mill cards actually were minor leaguers. Tons of minor leaguers. I believe there's Casey Stengel in the set as well.
Mhm.
There's only 6. They're a red border, very condition sensitive, beautiful image of Shoeless Joe. And as we were saying earlier about, or maybe not earlier while we were filming, but we were talking about it earlier, guys in the professional uniforms. This is a Shoeless Joe in a minor league uniform, but it is so much more desirable than his professional uniforms because it's scarce, extremely rare. There's tons of the American Caramels and some of those. You see those out there a lot. But this is Shoeless Joe's biggest card.
Caramel macchiato?
So what's the value, Dave?
You're not going to find that card for under a couple $100,000.
Wow. I've never even heard of this card.
Really? It's got a red border, Shoeless Joe. It's people love it because of the image of the card. I like the scarce old
what's
baseball
the image?
card.
That's what I'm saying. I can't even.
He's got like a bat on his shoulder and it's black and white, but it has a red border and he has like stripes either on his socks or his hat. I can't picture it exactly right now, but it's just an iconic. And that card, probably my second favorite card, is the 1914 Baltimore News Supplement Babe Ruth card when he was in the International League before he came to the Red Sox.
Yeah, the new supplement. Yeah.
That's a monster.
That's a monster.
Yeah, that's a monster.
That card, everyone was talking Honus Wagner. That card hasn't sold in years, and when it did, it was going for several $100,000. I would have to say it's pretty close between those two, but I'm kind of a Shoeless Joe guy. Shoeless Joe, third all-time batting average. If you guys don't know.
Have you ever came close to either of them?
The closest I ever came to either of those was a 1914 Cracker Jack, Shoeless Joe, and a PSA 2. I traded away like half my collection when I was in my 20s.
Of course, you like, the controversy, the Shoeless Joe, Dave Amerman. I could see you liking him.
I love Shoeless Joe. I always wanted to get like a tattoo of all the guys that got kicked out of baseball, pretty much. McGuire, Bonds. I have the Cobb. I have Cobb. It's Cobb and Shoeless Joe.
That's gonna take his shirt off. He will. Don't worry.
He's trying to set up
next season. Next
the
season,
shirt will be
we'll
off
have to show the tattoo.
I think the closest we'll get to all three of these cards is if Ken owns them and shows us them, and that's probably.
No, don't say that. Stop. Why would you say that?
I don't know.
We're gonna own them. We're gonna own them.
Krupa's got a down payment on the
We're
Cobb.
gonna own them. Don't worry,
guys. That's awesome. I mean, these are awesome cards. If you guys have cards that you want, drop a note in the comments. Guys, follow us. We're here every week, just trying to provide some entertainment value. Hopefully, this guy and myself can do so. But anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.